Ladies of Reddit, what is the biggest misconception about your bodies that all men should know? Miscarriages are not, in my experience, a quick over and done with situation. My miscarriage started out as spotting, and I immediately got nervous. Went to the and of course found out ultrasound was picking up no heartbeat. HCG levels were falling. I was not given a DNC. I was sent home and had the worst period of my life at the point for over a week. There was a lot of painful cramping, blood went from spotting to full force to chunky. My hormones went out of whack, and I broke out like I was in puberty. I was physically and emotionally and mentally a wreck. If your partner is, or ever suffers a miscarriage, even if they didn't want the little bean, it's still a huge event and just be there for them. And don't tell that person things happen for a reason. I heard that a lot that week. Though it might have actually been what found my thyroid condition, I still don't consider my miscarriage and my loss some trivial reason to have found another medical crisis. I really wanted that baby. It was early on, so I'll never know what it was, but my heart always sticks to the feeling it was my little boy. And if the person who lost a pregnancy still thinks about it, or still feels sad, and it comes to their mind now and then, just let it rush in, and then back out. Like a wave, sometimes we just need to wade in the waters. Trim and file your nails. Your dick might not feel it when you jerk off, but Arklet and Vag are back. WTF, does he have a rusty knife on him? We know, and it kills whatever you were trying to accomplish. Filing is key. Please don't clip your nails and think those jagged edge nails are entering me. Just because we are tight doesn't mean we are a virgin. We are probably either uncomfortable or just built that way. Once had a conversation with a boy who tried to convince me, a woman, that I'm wrong and he's right. He was a virgin. Along the similar lines, having intercourse can strengthen the vaginal muscles and make a girl feel tight. Way too many men believe women who have enjoyed intercourse are loose or worry about the size of her previous partner/s. The vagina stretches to accommodate different sizes and constricts afterwards back to its regular size. This is not about the body, but my partner thought the wings of the pad stuck to the legs rather than the underwear. Mine thought it stuck right on the vagina like a band-aid. Edit. To explain the thought process, he understood how tampons worked, absorbed and held blood in, so he thought pads worked the same way, just a less intrusive method. Lol. I didn't even know they were sticky. Blew my mind when she folded them over and stuck them to the underwear. Genius. If a vagina was gonna get stretched out from 100 guys, it would have happened when you bang someone 100 times. It doesn't happen. Also, babies come from there, and even the biggest penis in the world is smaller than a full-term baby. I'm an electrician, surrounded by men all day. One of them legitimately thought we peed out of our clitoris. He's in his 30s, married, and has kids. That's ridiculous. Pee is stored in the balls. Therefore women don't pee. I swear I wish I was making this up, but I had one guy ask me if it's true that our vagina closes when we get to our menopausal age. Like if the hole ceases to be there. No sir, it doesn't. Edit. Typo. Also, thank you for the awards, kind strangers. Haha. If they knew how many STDs circulate in retirement communities in places like FL. They are getting busy. As someone who has worked in the villages, Florida, I can confirm. Old people still fuck. When they tell you don't stop, don't stop. Keep going the same way. Don't change it up, don't add anything to it, or take away from whatever you're doing. They like it, and are probably gonna come from whatever you are doing. Don't stop is like a launch button for me. If I hear that from my female partner, I instantly bust a nut. I guess it's the pressure. Just like that. Alright, there is a good alternative, but for some reason don't stop makes me stop real fast. Same with escalating vocalizations. If my girl starts getting louder and seems close to finishing, the true battle begins for me. Pregnancy really fucks a body up. There's still a lot of stigma about talking about it, but it's not just getting big and then popping out a baby. Your abs can separate, your vagina can tear. Most care kits for new moms involves a lot of numbing spray for her body that is ripped apart. If your wife has recently given birth, she's going to need you to be a superstar of support. Tuning out and letting her take the lead because you can't breastfeed is about the worst thing you can do for your marriage. Yes. Also, the whole 6 weeks after you can have sex again thing is not always true. Even if the doctor declares it's medically safe to have sex, as in it won't cause the women's stitches to rip back open, infection, or bleeding, that really is the bare minimum and the line should be much higher. I personally had a nasty internal tear from birthing my first child and had pain up until about 6 months after. Luckily we found one position that sort of worked for us. Also, the woman may not be psychologically ready. Giving birth can be very traumatizing. Just how much different types of birth control affect our bodies, physically and mentally. Edit. Reading these responses has me in tears. I can't believe the vast array of terrible experiences we've all had. Thank you all for sharing. I know when I was going through it, I thought I was crazy due to my doctors downplaying my feelings and symptoms. Hopefully if anyone else is feeling that way they can come here and find comfort knowing they aren't alone. The combination pill turned me into an unfeeling and distant person. Switched to an IUD after 2 months to feel like a person again. I was so depressed on hormonal birth control. It wasn't until I stopped years later that I realized the cause. No doctor ever mentioned any mental/emotional side effects, or that it would affect my body's ability to calcify my bones in the end stages of puberty. Stretch marks are the most normal things in the world. Treat them accordingly. An ex-friend of mine's old boyfriend got her naked and saw them and asked her, horrified, how she got hurt. Edit. Of course men can get them too. Any single person who has a growth spurt anywhere can. I've just only seen confusion/assumptions about it more often on the male part rather than knowledge. I'm a guy with stretch marks from my teenage years, and it looks like I got clawed by a tiger or something. Dunno if it's just my skin tone or the placement, but it looks a lot more violent than it should. Not every position works for everybody. For example, I have a tilted uterus. I'm most comfy in doggy. OMG WTF. I'm in my 30s, married, and have known for years that I have a retroverted uterus, but it never clicked for me that this is why certain positions hurt. Same here. Some positions hurt like a mother. Now I know why. Having a period doesn't make a child a grown woman. Yep. Had my first period when I was 8 to 9 and definitely wasn't grown then. I was 10. It sucked. I was 100% not prepared, and I thought my intestines were coming out. It was also at my dad's house, and started in the middle of the night. That reminds me, I need to get pads for in case my daughter starts her period at my house. If her vagina smells like flour, she probably has, or will get infections from washing it with soap. Periods don't just cause belly cramps, it spreads to our back, kidney, sometimes arms and legs. We have huge headaches, we get dizzy, sometimes throw up, faint, get insomnia or hypersomnia, can't eat anything, or are always hungry. Also, don't expect the boobs to be perfectly round, and if they're really big, they're probably hanging like grandma tits. It's normal, gravity affect them too. Yes, the giant tits part is so real. If you have huge boobs they can be saggy as hell even in your late teens and 20s. And we can be so insecure about them, especially when all of our friends in the media show women having perfectly small and round perky boobs, and ours are sagging, and so big they constantly hurt and clothes don't fit properly. And forget about bathing suit shopping, unless you're willing to spend lots and lots of money for specialized bathing suits or just buying one that doesn't fit, and then we're insecure about that. It's basically a lose-lose with big boobs. They don't stay pretty to societal standards, and they are uncomfortable as fuck. This is my personal experience, but man I want a reduction lol. The body does not have ways of preventing unwanted pregnancies from rape. Yes. If I remember correctly, that whole myth was based on a study done by the fucking Nazis who found that women became infertile when they'd been in the camps for a long time. So it got turned into trauma causes infertility, when really it's more like sustained trauma over a long time, coupled with starvation, can cause infertility. But if a woman is just merrily going about her business, having a normal life, and getting adequate nutrition, and then gets raped, that won't retroactively stop her from ovulating the egg she ovulated 2 weeks ago. I can't remember who the senator was that said this as an argument against abortion, but it was stupid as shit. Vaginal discharge is a normal thing. It also changes consistency, that is, creamy, sticky, or egg white, or color, that is, white, clear, cloudy white, depending on our cycles. My partner didn't know this was a thing. Appreciate that's not really a misconception though. We got to have a cool conversation about how I can quasi-monitor my vaginal health and hormonal changes by tracking my discharge. He also didn't know periods can be chunky. Edit. Thank you for the award. Actually made my day. I'm glad I asked my partner about this. I wish everyone well along their educational journeys. And thank you for all the answer support and the comments on this thread. Edit 2. Thank you for all of the awards and comments/commenters continuing the education. I'm also learning a bunch here too, and I'm grateful for all of your time here. The amount of times I felt ashamed because of my discharge, because I was never told it was normal is embarrassing. The cum comes back out. My nephew, at 36, just recently learned that the reason his girlfriend goes to the bathroom after sex is to pee, push bacteria from sex out of the urethra, and let the cum come out. So if you are reading this and didn't know, the sperm inside the cum continues its journey after orgasm, but the fluid that transfers the sperm comes back out. We are not sponges. Edit. My nephew's girlfriend told me, not my nephew. I would not have this convo with my nephew. Edit 2. Woo, you all do too much. My husband is the youngest of 5 kids. His nephew, referenced above, is the oldest kid of the oldest sibling and is just a few years different in age from my husband. His girlfriend is my friend, but we still don't typically talk about sex. She mentioned it in an incredulous manner. Can you believe he didn't know? Literally the one time I didn't pee right after 6, I got a UT. If a woman gets pregnant and the fetus dies, she will need it removed, or she will die. If a woman gets pregnant and the embryo ends up in the fallopian tubes, she needs it removed, or she will die. The embryo/fetus is not viable when it is situated in a fallopian tube. My mom told me she had an ectopic pregnancy as a miscarriage between my older sister and myself, and that, if we didn't have modern medicine, that would have killed her. We don't enjoy boobs as much as we flex them. They are constantly getting in the way. Also guys, listen up. Yes, boobs are squishy and fun to play with, but too many of you out there only think about how good it feels for you, and not about how it feels for your partner. They are not stress balls FFS. My husband gets a lot more out of playing with my boobs than I do for sure, lol. My nipples are really just not at all sensitive. But I think it's sweet that he falls asleep with a boob in his hand every night. It's like a teddy bear for him. A teddy bear, if you will. The end. Thanks for watching.